At a rustic outdoor lumber mill, a worker in a red cap is feeding logs into a wood veneer peeling machine. The machine features large, powerful, and completely unguarded rotating drums. The operator pushes a log into the machine, but as it's pulled in, his gloved left hand follows too closely. Instantly, the rollers grab the glove and yank his entire arm into the crushing mechanism. He is trapped and in agony as his co-workers frantically rush to his aid, struggling to figure out how to stop or reverse the powerful machine before it's too late. This is a brutal example of an unguarded nip point. All rotating machinery must have physical guards that prevent any part of a worker's body from reaching the danger zone. Furthermore, using a push stick would have kept his hands at a safe distance. Inside a massive industrial plant, a worker stands on an elevated platform, positioned dangerously close to a large, rapidly spinning and completely exposed drive shaft. He appears to be performing some sort of task or inspection near the powerful mechanism. In a horrifying instant, a piece of his clothing is snagged by the shaft. With terrifying speed and force, he is violently pulled from his feet, wrapped around the shaft, and becomes part of the rotating mass. The incident is over in seconds. This shows why exposed rotating shafts are one of the most unforgiving industrial hazards. They must always be completely enclosed in a safety guard. Inside a machine shop, an operator leans deep into the work area of a large industrial milling machine to make an adjustment, placing his head and torso directly in the path of the tool head. It appears he failed to properly shut down the machine first. Suddenly, the machine cycles. The massive milling head descends with immense force, crushing him against the workpiece below. This tragic event is a direct consequence of bypassing safety protocols. Lockout, tagout procedures are mandatory for a reason. They ensure a machine is completely de-energized before any maintenance is performed. On a narrow city street, two men are walking next to a building. A third man on the sidewalk tries to warn them, but it's too late. High above, a poorly secured pallet of heavy bags, likely at a construction site, slips from its position. The entire load plummets to the ground, landing directly on top of the two pedestrians and burying them instantly. All overhead work, especially lifting operations, requires the area below to be completely cordoned off to prevent anyone from entering the drop zone. Inside a brightly lit beauty salon, clients are receiving treatments while an employee works at a shelf. The calm is shattered in an instant as a large truck, having lost control on the street outside, smashes through the glass storefront. The vehicle plows deep into the salon, sending debris flying and narrowly missing the terrified occupants who scramble for safety. This shocking incident is a reminder that even indoor spaces can be vulnerable to external traffic hazards, especially those located at street level. In a cluttered workshop, a man works near a large machine with an exposed, rapidly rotating flywheel. He's wearing a loose, untucked shirt, a critical mistake around this type of equipment. As he moves past the machine, the back of his shirt is snagged by the flywheel. He is instantly whipped around with incredible violence, spinning in the air as the machine wraps his clothing tighter and tighter around the axle. His co-workers rush in a panic to shut off the power, but the momentum continues to spin him violently. This is a textbook example of why loose clothing is forbidden around rotating machinery. It can be grabbed in an instant, leading to horrific injuries or death. All flywheels and drive shafts must be properly guarded. This onboard footage from a city bus captures the driver navigating through traffic. A passenger stands near the front, talking on the phone. Without warning, a vehicle from the oncoming lane swerves directly into the bus's path, resulting in a devastating head-on collision. The impact is catastrophic, shattering the windshield and sending the passenger flying violently forward. The aftermath shows the complete destruction of the bus's front end. This is a brutal reminder of the immense forces involved in high-speed collisions and the importance of defensive driving and constant vigilance on the road. At a construction site, several workers are standing on top of a newly constructed, unbraced masonry wall. A powerful gust of wind suddenly hits the tall, unstable structure. The wall acts like a sail, and it cannot withstand the lateral force. The entire section collapses, sending the workers plummeting several stories to the ground below amidst a cascade of bricks and scaffolding. This is a tragic failure in construction sequencing. Tall, thin walls must be properly braced against lateral forces like wind until the full structure is completed and can provide support. Two men are attempting to move a large, top-heavy commercial refrigerator or vending machine. They are using an improper method, trying to slide and pivot it by hand without proper equipment like a dolly or pallet jack. As they maneuver the appliance, its high center of gravity causes it to become unstable. It begins to tip over, and one of the men is unable to get out of the way. The incredibly heavy machine falls directly on top of him, crushing him against the floor. Moving heavy and tall objects requires careful planning and the use of appropriate mechanical aids to prevent them from tipping over. During nighttime road construction, a worker in a high-visibility vest walks near a large wheeled excavator. The operator begins to swing the machine's cab to reposition it. The worker is standing in the excavator's massive blind spot. As the cab rotates, the heavy counterweight swings around and pins the unsuspecting man against a stack of concrete barriers, crushing him. Swing radius accidents are a common and deadly hazard. Ground personnel must never enter the swing radius of an excavator without first getting confirmation from the operator that they have been seen. Inside a workshop, two men are performing maintenance on a large industrial machine. They are positioned directly underneath a heavy, suspended component of the apparatus. It appears the component was either improperly supported or the lifting mechanism failed. Suddenly, the entire assembly gives way and collapses downwards, crushing both workers beneath its immense weight. This is a fatal violation of a primary safety rule. Never work under a suspended load. Heavy components must be physically secured with certified blocks or safety stands before any personnel are allowed to work underneath them. In a chaotic street intersection, a pedestrian begins to cross the road. At the same time, a wheeled excavator makes a turn, its operator's view obstructed. The operator does not see the pedestrian, and the front of the heavy machine strikes her, knocking her to the ground. Continuing its turn, the operator, still unaware of the collision, drives directly over her. Heavy equipment operating in public spaces poses an immense risk. Operators must use extreme caution and have a clear line of sight, while pedestrians should never assume a driver has seen them.